participants to ask question?
They will not ask directly through unmuting themselves, because that might be a chaos. So all the question will be typed into the chat, the Q&A chat box. So at any point in time, we will be monitor the chat to actually come out with the questions to ask. So I'll be the one directing the question to everyone here based on the type of questions that we receive. Yeah.
So everyone can jump in to answer the question, is it?
Yes. I mean, if let's say if it's an open question, anyone can feel free to jump in to answer, or anyone has something to add on. Yeah, just feel free to add on. So I think this is something more casual. We don't want to make it too constrained. So we try to make it more flexible and more casual in a way to answer the participants' query.
So sorry.
Jeffrey, when you address some particular person to answer the question, so it will be easier for us rather than it will be a kind of sometimes 2% jump into it. For example, question where the IEM student will answer, then for the career or whatever, I mean, this Taksin can share a little bit.
Okay,
definitely.
I will start admitting people to the room. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Good luck, everyone. Sorry, I think my live chat is keep popping out. Okay. Good luck, everyone.
Hi, morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay.
Feel free to turn on your camera if you would like to do so.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to NTU EEE Virtual Open House. Welcome to our virtual panel discussion from the School of EEE. So we will be starting the event shortly. Just 1 more minute for everyone to just join into the chat before we start. Okay, so we have fair bit amount of people that already joined in. So hello everyone, my name is Jiafei and I will be the moderator for today's NTU Open House EEE Virtual Panel Discussion. And joining us today are some of the EEE professors and students that will be here answering some of your questions. And before we kickstart the event, official, we would just like to share with you some of the housekeeping rules. We would like everyone to put their Zoom on mute and turn on your camera if possible. And if you have any questions for any of our speakers, please feel free to type it in our chat box in the Zoom function, or you can actually post it on our EEE Slido page. Yeah. So hopefully we can have a very enriching panel discussion today. Okay, so we are all here. So with that, we will start our panel discussion official. Before we start, we would like to have a short introduction by all our panelists here today joining us. So we will kickstart the introduction from our chair, Professor Tan Yap Ping. Prof. Tan, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Yap Ping. I'm currently chair of the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering at NTU. So it's very happy to see all of you here. I know that this is a very important decision that you need to make to enter into your next phase of your life. So this is the program that the School of EEE, we are offering you this two of the undergraduate program that you can consider. Myself actually received both all my bachelor, master, and PhD degree from in this electrical engineering. So I'm quite familiar with this topic, and which is one of the areas that I'm very proud of and familiar myself a lot with all these so-called changes over the years. So this is the occasion, this is the opportunity there for you to find out more about this program, both the electrical and electronic engineering and information and engineering and media, these 2-degree program. So take the opportunity to ask as many questions as you may have. So we are here to help you to make the important decision so that you can have a wonderful future ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Prof. Tan. So next up, we have Prof. Ng, who is our Associate Chair of Student Life. Prof. Ng.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live chat here. I have also done my degree in electrical and electronic engineering. In fact, I have done my bachelor degree and my master degree with NTU EEE as well. So I guess I'm in perhaps a better position than Prof. Tan to share with you as well in terms of what we can offer. But anyway, other than the academic pursuit that you can expect if you do a degree with us, our school actually also have a wide range of non-academic endeavors that you can also participate to help you develop skills and expertise in varying areas. Okay, so we'll certainly be happy to share with you if you have any questions on those.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Ng. Next up, we have Prof. Gui. Prof. Gui, please.
Hi, very good morning to all of you, and then a very happy Chinese New Year to you. And then I'm Bahui, or you can call me Prof. Gui, which students like to call me. And then I'm currently the Assistant Chair of Outreach in School of EEE. And then I've been teaching in the EEE for more than 20 years. So it's actually that I like to share with you my so-called experiences and how we advise the student, and then as well as courses, program, and then the life in NTU, and then also career prospect, if you'd like to hear from us. And then being one of the founding school in NTU, one of 3 founding school in NTU, EEE is definitely one of the wider courses and very a good degree for you to pursue, engineering degree for you to pursue the career or whether a research field in the future, or whether you want to go to overseas to pursue your entrepreneurship or even this exploration. So in here, so it is our great opportunity to share with you, since you have just got your A-level or polytechnic certificates, and then now is a time for you to select the one of the degree program for you to pursue your undergraduate degree. And then we are like to offer the advisors on these 2 undergraduate degree program. One is electrical and electronic engineering. One is information and engineering media, which I think later we will share with you more detail. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Gui. So not only do we have our professors here joining us today, we also have EEE alumni. So Takin, do you want to share with us?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So my name is Tak Ging, and I graduated from the Electrical and Electronics Engineering course 4 years ago. So during my time in NTU, I participated in the Garage at EEE programs, the outreach programs, the leadership programs, as well as a EEE club program. So I've been pretty active in student life, so you can ask me about that as well. But currently, I'm working as a data engineer for a small consulting company. So some of our clients include banking, retail, pharmaceutical, and telecommunications. So feel free to ask me about any career opportunities that a EEE graduate would have upon graduation.
Yes, thank you, Takin. So if you have any career-related questions, feel free to direct it to Takin. So next up, we have Stella, who's a year 4 EEE student with a double major. Stella, do you want to share with us?
Hi everyone, I'm Stella. I'm currently in year 4 in electrical and electronic engineering with a second major in business. So if you have any questions with regards to second major, you can drop in the chat. And I'm also fortunate to be able to go to multiple overseas trips over the past 3 years, like before COVID. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding overseas opportunities, you can drop in the chat as well. Yeah, and then for student bodies, I believe all the students here are very involved in the multiple student bodies. So in this case, we have 5. So if you have any question, you can ask about it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. So besides that, we have Kim joining us here today. Kim is actually an IEM student. So Kim, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Kim. I'm a year 2 information engineering media and econs double degree student. So if you guys are interested in taking up a double degree, you can ask me questions later. I'm also quite active in student life. I'm actually part of 3 clubs. So if you have any questions about the vibrant student life we have here in EEE, you can drop your questions later.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, so lastly will be myself. So besides being the moderator for today's event, I'm a 4th year EEE student. I'm also, as similar to Stella and Kim, had joined various EEE student bodies such as Outreach and MLD at EEE, which is our machine learning and data analytics lab. So do feel free to ask me any question related to any technicality or some of the machine learning opportunities that you might explore in terms of joining EEE. So with that, we will actually start off our panel discussion official. We have some questions that already have come in. So the first question we have here is, I think it's quite an interesting and a broad question, is that can you explain EEE to a layman? So I guess maybe Prof. Tan, you want to address this question? What is EEE all about from your point of view?
Okay, of course, there are many ways that to understand what EEE is about. So, but the way that I think is good for students to know about this is you look at what we do, right? And if you get a degree from electrical and electronic engineering, what profession that you can join in the future, right? So in EEE program, basically students will study 3 broad areas of the subjects. So the first area is what we call is electrical system and engineering, right? And which cover all the power, energy, clean energy, right? And control, automation, and intelligent system, robotics, and including even biomedical engineering. So something to do with systems. If you need electronics, electricity, and some software programming and intelligence to build a system which allow you to either deliver power, deliver energy, deliver solution, control, manufacturing, automation. So it is under this so-called electrical system and engineering so-called broad area. So in the second discipline or the subject area is so-called electronics, right? And which include all the semiconductor, IC design, even photonics and electronic circuits. So all these are the so-called area that cover under electronics. In fact, Prof. Guiba Hui is an IC designer, and he actually used machine learning and neural network, and now lately actually look into some kind of security, hardware security. So which you can see that it is a very, very broad, even the IC designer, electronic engineers, and then they also need to have the knowledge of all these so-called hardware security, right? And then even the applied neural network in this particular topics. And Prof. Ng is actually semiconductor, right? And photonic semiconductor device and materials. So which is also under this area. And the third area is what I call it information system and engineering, infocomms, right? Which is the area that I'm in. So which cover signal image processing, audio, video, 1D, 2D, and 3D signal processing, and AI, machine learning, and communication, 3G, 5G, 6G, right? And even the satellite communication. So that gives an idea is how broad the EEE actually cover in this. Because EEE is not a new discipline. We have been around for many years. And the reason we continue to be around and make impact because we keep evolving and we keep actually expanding the area. And now there have been many subjects that we have actually made impact and contribution. So that is EEE. So you can imagine that once you equip yourself with such knowledge and you have a very broad knowledge of all these disciplines, and which will help you to find many possible jobs available, including Touching mentioned that be a consultant, right? And consulting finance institute, right? And Jia Hui is actually a machine learning guy, right? He's running this machine learning AI together with Stella as well. Both of them actually participated in a lot of AI machine learning competition, right? Kin is more on the infocom and media design. So that gives you the idea about how broad this undergraduate program, degree program is. Okay, so I hope I give you some idea about what EEE is about. It's not just a wire, not just electronics. Actually, we are much more than that.
Thank you, Prof. Tan, for the answer. So the next question we have, I think this question will be addressed to Prof. Ng, will be what are some of the events, that is outside of the EEE, they are in EEE for students outside of our curriculum? So, Prof, do you want to share with our students here?
Okay, so if you're to actually read a little bit about our school, essentially our school has various student bodies that's been set up. And, depending on your interest, right, there are a wide variety of activities that is sort of organized for our students to participate, to develop skills in various areas. For example, we have the Garage at EEE that will organize technical workshops, trainings, and entrepreneurship seminars and programs for students, for those who are interested to improve their technical skills and perhaps also learn a little bit about entrepreneurship. And another one that in terms of technical that our student body also organize, it's for example by MLDA, the Machine Learning and Data Analytics Lab, which Jaffe is the president. They also organize frequently training workshops on softwares to supplement your learning experience in our regular curriculum. In addition, the other student bodies like Leadership Program, EEE Club, they also have various sort of improvement activities that we organize. And the school site, we also have things like interview workshops that we also provide to students to help you basically beef up your various skills to prepare you for the working life. For those who are interested in, for example, more in the giving side, we also have the various student bodies organizing local volunteering activities to contribute back to our communities and to perhaps those who are less fortunate. For example, Tagin has been, previously was involved in activities like the leadership program. We do local volunteering, we do overseas volunteering, and our students goes on overseas trips to contribute to overseas as well. And at the same time, they get some exposure to cultures in a different country. So really, in our school, I would say it's really up to you to step out and seize all this opportunity to enrich your learning experience with us. So if you are willing, there's really a lot of activities that you can look forward to. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Prof, for sharing with us the enriching activities that we have in EEE beyond our curriculum. So the next question we have in the chat is actually that in EEE degree, what is the weightage given to hardware compared to software respectively? Because we know that each modules will have some form of lab component versus the software aspect. So Prof, do you want to share with our students what are some of these difference in terms of the weightage given?
Oh, thank you, Jia-Fei. And then in this NTU, we emphasize a lot of technological so-called advancement, as well as we want the student to be a practical engineer. So we have a lot of laboratory session, projects, and then to equip the student with the knowledge, in part with their theoretical study. So I should say that we have a very heavy weightage on the practical session. In general, you can look at it, it's actually, I should say that almost 40 to 50% of practical, which I can name to you. For example, in the first year, we have a laboratory session. Come to the second year, you have more advanced called labs to actually equip you to how to handle the equipment, oscilloscope, as well as all those devices. And come to the third year, we will allow the student to build project. So there were, we call it the DIP, Design Innovation Project, which is a team project, which allowed 8 to 10 students to build a system. And then come to second part of the third year, usually a student will go to the company to do their internship. And during this internship, student would so-called work together with a manager and also the engineer to do the practical and also industrial job. And then come to final year, student will do the individual final project, which again, this is a very much independent. They have to do a proper problem formulation, how to propose their approach, the solution to the problems. So this is, I would say that, and also we have a lot of corp labs. We are only school in the world. It's not just in NTU or in Singapore. We have 5 corporate labs. This corp lab, which is a Rolls-Royce corp labs, SMRT corp labs, this Delta corp labs, this ST corp labs, as well as a newer one, which is a Continental corp labs. So all these corporate allow the student to work in the laboratory where the industry bring the research labs into the EEE, and then the student can work together with the engineer, with the company on the company problems. So we have a lot of very heavy emphasis on the practical for this EEE and IEM programs. Thank you, Jaffe.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Gui. So the next question we have is, I think, is more relevant for Takin. So some of our students would like to actually find out that what are some of the different job prospects that a EEE degree open you up to for you.
Thank you, Jaffe. So the slogan of EEE or School of EEE is one degree, a world of opportunities. So, and that is quite true in my experience, right? So I'm personally working as a data scientist / data engineer, and I have a lot of friends working as project managers for aerospace companies, cybersecurity consultants, and of course, definitely there's a lot of engineers in a lot of big companies like ST, Qualcomm, BCA, D-Star, DSTA, and Singtel, etc. So along the way, there are also people who found their way into Facebook, right, as account managers. So it's really up to the specialization that you have and the different kinds of activities that you do in school that really lets you choose the path that you want for yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Takin. So the next question I think is related to Kin. So Kin, some of our students want to find out that does IEM actually offer more programming opportunities as compared to EEE?
In IEM, we do take more coding mods as compared to EEE students. So in IEM, we actually get to learn like more coding languages like Java and SQL as compared to like EEE students who only learn like the basic of the coding modules. But in EEE, if you're interested in like coding, you can also take up a specialization in info communications, which allow you to code more, like focus on the software side as compared to the hardware side.
Thank you, Kin. So the next question we have, I think this is very relevant to Stella. So Stella actually has is fortunate to actually embark on an internship experience abroad in Silicon Valley. So the student would like to find out what are some of the internship opportunities that EEE students are given during their course of study.
So during So during our course of study, we actually have a compulsory 6-month, 1 semester internship. It's a 20-week internship for single degree takers. So usually people will either go. So there are 2 options. First of all, so you either go local internships or overseas internships. Actually, nowadays overseas internships are still ongoing. Just that people are working from home. So it's a literal working from home, which can be quite fun. Yeah. So if you do have, if you are planning to work locally, then local internships are offered, such as to work in the various EEE software companies or even banks in Singapore. So we have a career attachment office that's very active. So you can actually have a career coach and then like consult the career coach from there. Yeah. As for overseas internship, we actually also have a few programs that you can lead to either interning in overseas startups or overseas big companies as well. And last but not least, you can also apply to wherever you want to go, which you can self-source with the help of the network from the school, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. So the next question I think one of our viewers have here is that I think it's quite relevant and quite interesting. So is that they want to find out that will the curriculum sort of change or adapt to emerging industries such as electric vehicle and also clean energy. So I think that is what mentioned in the Deputy Prime Minister's budget plan. So Prof. Tan, would you like to address this question about the EEE curriculum?
Yeah, sure. Okay, this is one of the areas that EEE is very good at. And as I mentioned earlier, that one of the reasons that EEE, this particular electronic engineering, right, has been around for so many years. And this is also the program that if you go to all the major universities, both within or outside Singapore, you likely can find similar program. So one of the main reasons is actually we keep reinvent new so-called new so-called areas and also branch out to the new emerging topics like this electric vehicles, smart grid, clean energy, autonomous vehicles, and all these are the so-called areas that are now our professors and students, they are involved heavily in addressing many of the challenges. In particular, one of the areas that we are now looking into will be this so-called cobot. Human and robots, how do they work together? Perhaps you heard about this Hyundai is coming to Singapore to set up this fully electric vehicles plant, which is just outside NTU. And they are going to get human and robots work together to customize, build the cars that actually you prefer, you design. So these are the areas that now we already have projects and starting working into this, and how do you make sure that the workplace is safe for robots and the humans to work together, right? A human is more intelligent, more flexible, adapt to the situation, right? But robot actually can lift heavy object and it will not feel tired, can work 24 hours. But when these two come together, how do they actually take advantage of the strength of each other so that they can complete the task much faster in a safeguarded environment? So all these are the topics that now we are looking into. So that is actually one of the strengths that as EEE students, they are going to be exposed to. And it's very important that where I see that we will never know 20 years from now what will be the main jobs, what will be the so-called the expertise required for the jobs going to be available in the future. But the EEE program would let you have the kind of ability to learn new areas and to branch out to the new topics which may come out in the future. So which I myself, I see that this is one of the key strengths of our degree program, which is very broad and very adaptive, and also look into the future so-called important emerging areas.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Tan. So the next question that we actually have here, I think is some of the students have this concern whether would the intake increased for this year because fewer students are actually going overseas due to COVID-19. So Prof. Gwee, do you want to address this question for some of our concerning students here?
Bahu, your mic is muted.
Yeah, Prof. Gwee, you are muted.
Okay, thank you, because thank you. So actually, for those students that are applying for undergraduate degree program, I think first thing you have to look at is your interest. You have to look at what your interest that you're going to carry for next maybe 20, 30 years of your life for your career. And then so that you choose the program is not based on whether the program intake is large or small, and then whether the program is actually easy to pursue or is actually more difficult. You have to look at your interest. And then for all the programs in Singapore, I should say that most of them, if not 100%, their number is actually quite stabilized. And then most of the year, they are actually kind of trying to attract the student. Like for example, this EEE, every year it's very competitive where the student have to apply and then a lot of students cannot get in. But we always encourage the student to pursue the degree you're interested. And then when you can come in, you work very hard towards your interest. So you will pursue your career after that. For this, I should look at it is actually those students who are interested on the hardware and software or electrical engineering or electronic engineering, in a sense that you would like to look at those things like you are looking at a mobile phone, you are looking at this PC, looking at intelligent systems, looking at software, hardware, where now actually we are in the third wave of the revolution of electronics. The first way is actually people known as the personal computer PC. Second way, people always known as the mobile phone. And now we come to like what Prof. Tan just now shared with you is the intelligent system where we have a robotic, autonomous vehicle, smart nation, online shopping, intelligent health system, IoT. And then all these are actually very exciting technology. Where you come in here, you learn all these skills in order to meet the current world. So if you're interested in this field and then software, hardware, machine learning, then you should come to EEE. For those, again, is that you should not look at just a number, whether it is up or down every year. Thank you. Yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Gwee.
a few more?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah, no problem.
Our numbers, our intake number have been quite steady over the years. And we do realize that for the recent 2 years, due to COVID, actually more students, they would prefer to study in Singapore. So we have been also working closely with the university and MOE to increase the number of intake when necessary. So our program is still the largest engineering program in Singapore. So then we take in about 600 plus students in the EEE program and another 100 students, full-time students in the IEM. So, and also now we also look into this holistic admission. So one question was about the GPA, right? So we do not just look at your A-level or poly result. We also look at any other achievement that you may have. And then this Prof. Gui and Prof. Ng would interview the student to find out whether they are suitable for this program. Therefore, sometimes you see that some of the students actually they are admitted to the program, the GPA may not be very, very high, but they have a very so-called interesting experience and very interested in this program. So we find them suitable and they really can do well, either be as an entrepreneur, as a so-called innovator, as a solutionist, then we will actually admit them to the program. So if we find them, they are very passionate about this subject area, these are other things that we also look into. So I would suggest that you go and find out more. If you find this is really something that you are interested in, even to some of the students that you may not be very familiar with the university program. So this is a program that you come in, you have an opportunity to try out many of the areas. Then when you move on to the higher year, you can actually decide which areas that you want to focus your studies on. So something that actually you can explore later. So do talk to our staff and do talk to our professor and student to find out more about this program.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Tan. So I think there's just one question that just came in. I think sort of Prof. Tan addressed it. So the student actually wonder with her or her current grades, would there be a chance to be accepted into NTU EEE? I think it's more of a case-to-case basis and is subjected to review by the faculty itself. But to answer the next part of the question is that I think the student is keen to take on computing subjects and even going into a course related to machine learning. So maybe I think I'm in a position to give some feedback to that question. So I'm the president of machine learning and data analytics lab here at the School of EEE, and we are the only AI lab in the whole NTU. So as you can see from that, the school actually focus a lot of effort in terms of training students or preparing them for the career path in data analytics and machine learning. So and also beyond that, in the year 4, as what Prof. Tan mentioned, you will be given a choice to specialize in one of our specializations. So machine learning and data analytics is definitely one of that specializations that you can choose. And with all the enriching events that MLDA will actually offer to students, I think definitely EEE is the course. If you are interested in machine learning and data analytics, you will want to join. So hopefully that answers your question. And I think there's a question regarding how is the overseas internship program affected due to COVID-19. So Stella, do you want to share your experience with our student?
Yeah, so I went for my overseas internship right at the start of 2020. So it was a happy start. But at midpoint of the program, we actually got to call back. And then for now, students are actually working from home. So the working from home is a literal distant working from home, which can be quite fun because the time difference and all, it trains you for the future workforce, I believe. Yeah, and then so for now, and I think for the coming SEM, so overseas entrepreneurship program actually offer a working from home kind of scheme. So where students are actually still linked to the thriving startups in the different hotspots in the world, such as Israel, Silicon Valley, China. Yeah, so you can actually work from home. And then some of the startups are actually developed enough to have their own office in Singapore. So on top of having a network in the Silicon Valley side, you actually have a network in Singapore side as well. So it's like kind of a kill two birds with one stone.
Thank you, Stella. So we do have a question. I think this question will be addressed to Prof. Ng. So beyond the fact that students in EEE are given opportunities to go abroad for internship or for exchange? Are there other opportunities to actually for AAA students to travel abroad for experience or voluntary experience or work?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
after
COVID, right? Okay, so as I mentioned just now, we do organize overseas volunteering trips for students to contribute to countries that's perhaps less developed. On top of that, we also organize cultural trips to some places as well to visit, countries and sort of look at AAA related industries in those countries and give students a sense of a worldview of how this industry in various countries is like. Other than that, there's also times where we organize activities where students work with companies on problem statement that a specific company may have. For example, two or 3 years ago, we have a group of leadership students who work with 2 companies to basically help them to solve specific problems that they may have and see whether they can come up with some suitable solution. And after the project, they were actually invited to their overseas headquarters to present the solution. At the same time, they also get to interact with the engineers over there. On top of that, under the outreach ambassadors, Prof. Gui in the past has also been organizing these trips for students to visit this engineering-related industries. And in fact, for the past 2 trips, they have to bring them to places like Silicon Valley. And in fact, last time we wanted to do one as well, but because of COVID, unfortunately, we have to sort of hold it for a while. Yeah. So there's really a lot of varying opportunity for students. And of course, other than that, our students are also very active in competitions, and sometimes our students do get sent overseas to participate in competitions overseas. And if I'm not wrong, I think Tagin has also been on such overseas competition before, right? Tagin? Yeah, to Thailand, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So we went
so opportunity is there, it's really up to you to seek out all these opportunities and participate in some of this.
Thank you, Prof. I think the next question should be directed to Kin. So the student had this question is that because as we know that Kin is actually doing a double degree, so the student have this question whether is double degree stressful and is it worth doing or worth
So I think whether it's stressful or not really depends on like how you manage your time and you prioritize like the things that you need to do. Although it's true that double degree students have to take more modules as compared to single degree students, the program is actually spaced out over 5 years. So I'll say like the workload is still pretty manageable in each sem, and I would even dare to say that it's around the same as my single degree friends. And I think like the challenging or the stressful part about taking a double degree is that like all our modules are actually graded as compared to single degree students who can choose to exercise their pass-fail options on their general education modules. Whether or not if it's worth to take a double degree, I would say yes, it's worth it. I don't regret taking our double degree. I think personally, I'm quite passionate about economics, and I think it's quite important to take up like a social science degree in this climate today. So I think if you're interested in like econs or taking up like something different as compared to engineering, I think you should really go for it. And even though like engineering and economics doesn't look like they have a lot of things in common, I like to say that like econs actually helped me gain additional perspective in the things that I'm studying in engineering. Like for example, in my data science and artificial intelligence module last sem, I actually learned like a lot of the mathematical statistics models in econs, which when I applied to my machine learning models really helped me gain like an additional layer to it. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Kin. So we have one question for Takin. So Takin, will you share with our students here what are some of the modules that actually you took back then when you're in AAA that actually helps to propagate or propel your career once you start working?
Well, I would say that on top of the modules, there's a lot of various experiences in EEE that are really, really useful in the industry. Right. So for example, in the garage space, I learned how to work with Arduinos and Raspberry Pi, and that is directly translatable into work experience in smart manufacturing or Industry 4.0, also known as Industrial Internet of Things. So these hands-on experience, even though they're called co-curriculum, they're actually very, very important for you to gain experience, hands-on experience, so that you can hit the ground running, so to speak, on the first day of your job. So on top of that, Jia Fei, your MLDA lab also certainly gives a lot of experience to data science and data engineering. So these would fit really, really well into all of these data analyst style of jobs that are really hot these days. As well as I did my final year project in robotics. So if I wanted, I could have joined a robotics company locally or even overseas. So there's a lot of autonomous vehicles and hardware development going on these days, right? For example, there's self-driving cars. There's a lot of startups in One North. There's Cube Satellite, right? That Tesla's Starlink is trying to do. So there's really a lot of experience that the School of EEE itself, especially its co-curriculum activities that directly relate to career prospects.
Yeah, thank you, Taki. I think that really sums up the 1 degree a world of opportunity for us. So we have this question related to poly students, I guess. What are the diplomas that are relevant to be eligible for direct entry into the second year? So Prof. Kree, do you want to address this question? Prof. Kree? Okay, so let me just help Prof. Kree to answer here a bit. I think he has some technical difficulty. So I think personally, I'm a poly student. I'm actually from Ngee Ann Poly Engineering Science. So I would say that most of the diploma that you study under engineering can be relatable to EEE. So in fact, engineering science focus a lot on research and all aspects of engineering. So once you have the basic skills in terms of coding, hardware, and software, that will give you a sort of a form of eligibility in terms of going into a direct year two program. Then if you are considering in terms of a sense whereby you want to manage your workload, you have the flexibility to actually start from year 1 or even extend a bit of your direct year 2. So whichever is more comfortable for your personal preference. So okay. Next up.
Okay, can I?
Yeah, sure, Prof.
On that particular question. And so for those students from Poly, right, you should be able to go to see there is a list of the programs which you can apply for admission to EEE or IEM program in NTU. It should be available on the website, and which allow you to apply for direct entries. That means that you can join our year 2 curriculums, allow you to graduate in 3 years. Okay. But increasingly, we also see students actually, they are not really among those list of the degree program. They also apply to us. And we do consider them. And some of these students, after interviewing them, if we do find them suitable, they can also be admitted to year 2. And if not, they can actually start from year 1 program. Okay. So increasingly, we also see that more and more students from Poly, even they can start from year 2, but some actually prefer to start from year 1, give themselves more time to learn those so-called fundamental subjects, which are important for their future so-called career and coursework. And so that they can actually spend 4 years and some of them 3.5 years to get a degree. So in uni, actually, it's really very much depend on how fast and how hard you want to complete the program. And you actually can find out a lot of the so-called possibility here and choices that we have to offer, since our program is big, and you can see many students that they are like-minded. They actually have the same interest and same plan, and you can just work with them to graduate in the pace that you feel comfortable. So that is another advantage I see our program different from the other program. Of course, for EEE, because we do have at least, as I mentioned earlier, 600 plus students, and IEM is relatively smaller, about 100 students. and which again is still quite reasonably cited in terms of the areas of the courses and then the project that we can offer to the student. So do find out more from our website, and hopefully you can understand better where which option or which year that you would like to apply your admission to.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Tan, for the add-on. So I think there's quite a number of people messaging Stella. So Stella, I think some of them want to find out, what's the workload like for a second major with engineering? So Stella.
Hi, yeah, so I would like to start by explaining how is it different, single degree, double major, and double degree. So basically, generally, you can group one degree into like a core module and elective. Okay, this is general, it's not an actual representation. Yeah, so a core and an elective. So for a second major, you take out the elective and then you put your second major mods. So in this case, it's business mods for me. Yeah, and then and then there are a few additional modules. And then for double degree, you'll take two set of core, which for Keen is EEE core and economics core. And then you take that, and that's 5 years. For second major is 4 years. Yeah, so that's the main difference. And then workload wise, I think it's okay as long as you plan. I mean, of course, it's more than the single degree students, but as long as you plan your timetable properly, it's very exciting actually. Like EEE school and business school is just opposite each other, so it's quite fun to cross around schools and learn totally different things, like totally different teaching styles as well.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. So I think we have Keith. Keith have a question on, are there opportunities and projects for students to work on during their summer breaks from year one? And what is the requirement or criteria to get such opportunities? I think Prof. Ng, do you want to address that question?
Well, non-credit bearing projects are certainly available. We do have students who approach professors to work on sort of small projects, to enhance their learning. And of course, other than that, the garage site, we also have, during holiday period, organizing things like activities for students, 3-day workshops, hackathons for students to pick up new skills. So these opportunities are certainly there. Of course, on top of that, I think some of our students also look for non-credit bearing internship during the holiday period. They also go out the industry, if they can secure a position, they also do some internship on their own. But school-wise, there's certainly opportunities because our profs are all very active in research. So, they generally will have a need for people to help in various projects. So, I think all it takes is for the student to approach the prof whom they may have some interest to work with and the project, and to see whether the prof can perhaps craft out a project that could be suitable for you to do. So opportunity is there.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Ng. So I do receive a personal DM. This person was asking whether he's interested in machine learning and data analytics. I would like to find out that what is the difference in terms of joining EEE as compared to joining a degree in computer science or the data science and artificial intelligence, and would he be at a disadvantage? So Prof. Tan, will you want to address that question?
Jaffe, probably you can also add on later. So
yes, I'll add on. Yeah.
You see, data science or machine learning and AI, they are not quite the same thing, right? And computer science, machine learning and AI. So machine learning and AI, this topic are studied in many degree programs, and not just under School of Computer Science and Engineering. So the way we approach this topic is, I kind of see this is more like machine learning engineering or AI engineering rather than data science. Because a lot of the problems that it is not just programming and not just the data. You have to understand the domain, so-called area, understand the problem, so that you know how to formulate the problem that you can address them by using machine learning approach or AI approach. So if you go and see, there is a study recently published by Google. They actually analyze try to differentiate between what is AI, so-called data science and data engineers. And they are quite different. In fact, if you, based on the Google study, and in fact, there are more jobs available for those data engineers rather than data scientists. And which, of course, data engineers, actually, you can have machine learning engineers and AI engineer. And for the scientist side, you can have machine learning and AI scientists. So the difference is, in EEE, beside AI and machine learning, you also learn those domain knowledge. For example, earlier on I mentioned that Prof. Hui actually apply machine learning or AI to do IC design, to do this so-called security, hardware security. So which he has a domain expertise, and then he know how to apply the tool to solve this problem, which is actually, in fact, very important, right? We also have work that they apply AI machine learning to robotics, to satellites, to communication, to this material science, to manufacturing, and there are many, many applications. Without the domain knowledge, you will not be able to really solve the problem fully and efficiently. So, and in computer science, of course, besides machine learning, AI, they also study those programming, OS, all those more software or computer-related subjects. So, which is a kind of different approach to so-called address this kind of knowledge, and which is very common. You go to overseas, be it the top university in the US or UK and Europe, you also find machine learning and AI under EE and other disciplines, and not just under School of Computer Science and Engineering.
Maybe can I share a little bit more? Actually,
yes,
my PhD was in the machine learning, artificial intelligence, and then the fuzzy system, neural network, and also genetic algorithm. And then I graduated from UK, and then I worked in US before. So you can look at the perspective in the world. So when you study an undergraduate degree, you want to study as broad as possible. And then AI is everywhere. So this artificial intelligence is actually, you make use of the information data we have. We're trying to use the machine neural network to actually learn it so that the machine can perform a kind of better job than human being to do the whether autonomous control vehicle, controlling the vehicle, or you want to do a recognizing a human face. So in EEE, actually, the difference between EEE and the computer science is actually we also look into we call it hardware devices as well as system. So when we talk about system, we talk about intelligent system, where you actually look at all our hardware perspective. So when you build a robot, you cannot just look at software. You have to look at hardware. When you build a vehicle, you have to look at hardware as well. Mobile phone, you have to look at hardware. So a lot of things, I should say, the main difference between the computer science as a EEE is a wider perspective where you also look at the hardware's perspective. Because I was a software engineer after I graduated for about 2-3 years. I've been sitting in the computer, in front of computer for every day, more than 10 hours. That was my first job. But after that, again, I go back to the hardware to understand and then to build a lot of hardware. Now I'm heavily involved with the National Research Foundation on the cyber security in the hardware security perspective. So we do a lot of hacking. We also do a lot of kind of countermeasure. And this is, we call it the white hat and the red hat. So that's what we can apply the machine learning to the different aspects. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Gui. So just to add on that point from a student point of view, from my point of view, I feel that actually one of the reasons why I choose EEE is definitely that I want to learn machine learning, but have a broader point of view from what Prof. Tan and Prof. Gui mentioned. And in fact, actually, I'm planning to do a graduate study overseas in machine learning, artificial intelligence. And a lot of the interviewees that talk to me, they're actually quite delightful that I have a bachelor degree in EEE as compared to the group of people that's coming from the CS side, because I have a more of a broader view in terms of embodied AI. So from robotics to automation systems to network systems. So they give me a sort of a strong foundation in terms of further study in the field of machine learning, artificial intelligence. So, and also we know that AI has been rising over the past few years. So everyone is sort of at a certain similar platform to start off. So there's no much a significant difference. And also, in fact, in MLDA, we have a lot of members that's from School of Computer Science and DSAI. So I don't see that there's a huge difference. So hopefully that answers your question. And we have one more question. So this question I think is okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think this question is sort of addressed to Kin. So what are some of the technical aspects of IEM to gear up towards computing and programming? And what's the similarities between EEE and IEM, or what are some of the advantage that you guys really have? Kin, do you want to address that?
Yeah, maybe like the profs can add on to what I'm saying also. For IEM, the technical modules, other than programming, we also do other technical modules like telecommunications, where we learn about the computer networks and like digital signal processing and stuff like that. We also do like microprocessors and stuff. So it's not just like 100% coding, but yes, we do more coding than EEE students. And I think for the second part of the question, which I believe is the advantage of IEM over EEE, is that I think if you're interested in taking up a more like I'll say multidisciplinary or like cross-disciplinary degree where you get to learn like a lot of like different things from different schools, I think IEM is a good place for you because you really get to like see a lot of things from different perspectives, and you can also go into a lot of industries which are more like towards, if you are an artistic or creative person, you can go into a lot more design industries as well. Yeah.
So maybe I can add on to that particular question. Actually, we started this IEM program around 2006. At that time, the Infocom Authority, right? They realized that there are a lot of so-called jobs available in Singapore, but there are not many students actually applying to those jobs. And in EEE, as I mentioned earlier, that we have this final year option on this Infocom engineering, which is a kind of IT and signal processing and communication. So some students actually would like to study those subjects actually from year 1, right, and wait until year 3 or 4. So because of that demand and because of the interest, and we actually started this program, which students actually will study less courses in electrical and electronics, but they will start focusing more on infocom subjects. So then beside that, we also want the student to be exposed to art and media and communication, this so-called subject, which is offered by other schools like Wee School and ADM, right? Art and Design and Media School in NTU. So because the way we see is that engineers, they do not just solve technical problem. It is also important for them to express their solution, express their idea in a very so-called efficient or easy to be understood way, so that those so-called users know what they're talking about. So they actually receive a lot of training about how to so-called present their idea, how to design their product, how to even make a simple so-called publicity material. It can be poster, can be image, can be video, can be any other media to really present their idea. So that is how IEM different from the traditional EEE program. Of course, if you study a second major like STEDA or second degree like this Keen, then you actually add on even other discipline into your knowledge base, which is, of course, certainly is actually very important for students to fully so-called develop or immerse themselves in all these important areas.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Tan and Kin. I think there's a lot of question in the chat that is regarding like admission process, whether their grades fit the admission criteria. So I think to just address all as a whole, I think it's more of a case-to-case basis. So please feel free to write into the EEE school, and it will be subjected to review by the faculty. Does any professor want to add on to this point?
Yeah, maybe I'll add on a little bit. This afternoon we have the I call it open house booth, so that the students who are interested to talk to us, whether the students or the professors, they can actually come to our booth. I think it's called virtual booth, where Bas can actually address later, and then we will be there to happy to share with you from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and then just to so-called to clarify the doubts on all the admission matters, and all the program issue as well as student life, you feel free to join our booth to talk to us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Actually, that's also something I need to mention. So later on, there will be a professor one-on-one chat session virtually on our microsite in the Open House website. So do feel free to join for the data session to actually ask the professor one-to-one any of the questions that you might have. So if that, with that, we have,
sorry, Jaffe, I saw that there are quite a number of students asking about this IGP, right? Indicated grade profile, 10 percentile. Again, as I mentioned earlier, since last year, we started this so-called holistic admission so-called exercise. In fact, quite a number of students, they may not meet this so-called IGP requirement. They also apply, and we will also consider their application by looking into their so-called spatial so-called interest and expertise, some of the experience that they have. So do apply to us, and then you will be so-called considered under this holistic application path if you have, beside the coursework GPA, you have other so-called interests and experience.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Tan. So if there's no more questions, we have come to the end of our today's virtual panel discussion. So before we end off, we hope to actually take a group photo together with everyone here, and the participants, do feel free to turn on your camera and join us in this group photo. Bas, you will be taking the photo?
Yes, I can do that. So far,
Okay.
I don't see any students there, so it's just you guys. Just give me a second.
Yeah, please feel free to turn on your camera and join us in this group photo. So that next time when you come and join us in the School of EEE, you can share with your professor that you are here for the session. Okay. You just wait for another 2 more minutes. Yeah. And this will be also posted on our social media. So do follow us on our social media page and to find out more about EEE and what's going to happen in the subsequent events to follow for today. Okay. So without further ado, Bas, can you have us take a group picture together?
Yeah, so everyone
just look
give
in
me
front
your
and,
best smile. Just give me a second there.
okay.
Okay, I'll take a few more. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we've got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us for today's virtual panel discussion. If you have any more questions, please join us in our later 1 o'clock session, one-to-one chat with our professors to address any of the questions that wasn't addressed during today's panel discussion. And we hope to see everyone soon in the School of EEE. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, Tak Ching, Jaffe, Keen, Stella.
Thank you.
Thank you all the help. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good job.
Good job, everyone. Well done. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I'll end the meeting.